Rich Bohemian boy.
Oh, we're back with another Buns and Tubs this week. Coming to you live from my dining room once again, because it's still too hot to record in the studio.
The Buns and Tubs podcast with infinite powers like Blanca on Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. We just jump up and kick them into the corner and then curl up into a little ball and shock the shit out of you.
As I say, I always just use the move where you electrocute people, so...
I always wanted to do the one where you could like get on the back of them and
bite them. Yeah.
But I'm not good with it.
I hated that move.
Yeah.
I was always usually E-Honda, though. You know, that 100-hand slap is a pretty easy move to do, and it usually fucked everybody up.
Chun-Li was okay.
Yeah, that's what my sister used to do.
She was a smaller version of E-Honda.
She would play, my sister would be Chun-Li, and I would be E-Honda. And then just kind of, I'd say it went about 50-50 and match wins.
Yeah.
Whoever could get there, either their 100-hand slap or the whatever that kick is called that she does, off first on the person usually was the winner.
Yeah.
But
Queenie's doing some really nasty stuff to me right now.
Is she?
Yeah.
What is she doing?
Licking my hands.
Oh, nice and salty.
Like I'm some sort of all-you-can-lick buffet.
She loves those salt hands. With us today, we have Aaron the Red with us once again in the studio.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Coming by, gracing us with his delicious ginger presence.
Helping me fix my computer problems.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You should come around more often, though.
I should.
Yeah.
You're right.
Unlike Dr. Doug when he just needs, company or something.
Yeah.
He's always lonely.
He's like a traveling homeless person.
Mm-hmm. Well, now he lives in a gated community, so what's up with that?
Privilege. That's what that is.
You know what kind of privilege it is?
Is it white privilege?
It's white privilege.
Oh.
You know, I've never seen a black
Caucasoid.
person in there, so you're probably right.
Supposedly there is,
Just
but
Is there supposedly?
that remains to be seen.
I think they keep him in the basement of the lodge.
A little bit saucy, or you got a couple road sodas in front of
Start drinking, I turn into a real Democrat.
you. But no, today
man.
On the episode, we're going to be talking about, since it's mid-July and since it's that time of year, we figured we'd go ahead and do a show about it since we're that type of show. We're doing those guys, those club guys.
Those boys.
Those boys. You know, those weaving spiders come not here kind of boys.
The Bohemian boys.
You know, those Bohemian boys down there in the Redwood Forest as we speak.
Yeah, right now.
Doing those things that they do best. We're talking about the Bohemian Grove and the Bohemian Club today, which are the same thing virtually.
Yeah.
But they always hold a 2-week getaway in mid-July. It's going on right now, everybody, just so you know.
I wish I wrote down the name of the little jamboree that they have in June. It sounded super silly. I don't have it here, though. But they have that in June, and then the Bohemian Grove full function starts. It's the second Saturday of July and goes on for 2 whole weeks.
Before we get started, do we want to do the housekeeping first? Or do we just want to...
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Okay, so we're going to do our housekeeping first before we get full in. I think we have a couple of current events we want to talk about, too.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and do this.
The most current of the current events is that Mr. Earnshaw, your stickers are en route. I just threw them into the mailbox before I came over here.
Nice.
It's on the way.
Nice.
I wasn't sure how many people he had to listen, so I just might have shoved.
Did you throw some business cards in there, too?
I threw like 12 stickers in one envelope with 2 stamps.
Jeez.
One business card.
Okay, then.
So that's on the way, friend. And then these news stories. This week's just been off the chain. I wanted to kind of talk about the whole Trump thing, but I don't.
I guess we could.
Yeah, what I heard something about it, but I didn't look because I didn't really care.
Basically, the left's eating itself, and the right's starting to eat itself.
Oh, nice.
And it's all because Trump doesn't side with the intelligence communities.
Oh,
they're all
really?
like, "There's collusion." And he's like, "Fuck you." There's actually not.
Well, then his meeting with Putin and all that this week, everybody's saying they're committing to some Poe's law, and also trying to Kafka trap Republicans by saying that if you still support Trump, then now you're officially unpatriotic because he sided with Putin.
Right.
So they've decided to attack the most tender section of the conservative body, which is the patriotic the patriotic nerve, the tinge that you're no longer part of something.
I cannot have freedoms
as traditioned as the Merca, you know,
the freedom Merca.
Not patriotic at all.
So I like it. I enjoy it. I'm glad I'm not part of it on either side. I'm an agent of chaos, and it's just more chaos every day.
I just want real freedom. You know, I want somebody that doesn't want World War III, which seems to be what Trump's doing right now.
More freedom.
Did you know that it's possible to actually judge a human being based on their everything that they do? You don't have to just be a Republican or a Democrat. You could actually kind of watch and be like, I like that. I don't like that.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right? Most of these motherfuckers on Facebook don't know that because they're
not hip.
No, I'm just trying to give out some of that mental justice.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so what else was there going on this week?
I wanted to mention the TSA story. In a 2-1 vote, the 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Philadelphia said Transportation Security Administration screeners, TSA, were not investigative or law enforcement officers and were therefore shielded from liability under Federal Tort Claims Act. Now, parents were suing because they were basically watching their kids get dry raped at an airport.
Yeah.
And, adults are getting drugged. We've all seen the videos of the TSA like that. There's that one boy, that one little 6-year-old boy that's just wearing, little boy clothes.
Yeah.
It's tight. You can clearly see he's not carrying anything. And then there's that fucking old pedophile-looking dude. He's like, let me check for the bomb in your shorts. Or you got the video of the giant bullish lesbian that's got the pretty blonde. She's like, I think I need to take her in the back and look for something.
Yeah.
So, people were fighting back against it. They're like, we have to go through this shit?
Yeah.
All because we can't afford to fly in a private jet? Mm-hmm. And the court was like, yeah, because fuck you.
Yeah.
It's all about safety.
Yeah. Safety.
So, there's that.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the freedom, too. Freedom.
A lot of it.
Yeah, they could just do to people who are suspected of possibly being terrorists like they did on that episode of Rick and Morty. Where they shot him with this drug that makes him super docile and stupid for the whole flight. And the kind of quasi TSA agent in episodes everybody deserves to fly, even terrorists. And it just makes Rick super super for the flight.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I like to think that I almost said sodium fluoride, but you were sorry.
Yeah,
that's a long acting docility drug.
Oh, I found that thing that happens in June at the Grove of Bohemians.
What's it called?
It's called Spring Jinx, yo.
There it is.
Spring Jinx.
I just pictured Karl Rove and George Bush naked rubbing asses together in a daisy field underneath a redwood tree.
They're laughing they're all sun-kissed, their skin is pink and
clearly like schoolgirls.
Bush is the only thing harder than that redwood's my penis. Fuck it.
But no, so
one last story and then I'll shut the fuck up.
All right.
The Pentagon wants to bring mind control weapons to detected troops. You read that this morning? It's on the Drudge Report.
Is it?
The idea of humans controlling machines with their minds has spun off sci-fi blockbusters like Pacific Rim, the entire subgenre of foreign film. But while today's skyscraper-sized flying robots exist only on the big screen, the Pentagon is building technology that could one day make them a reality. Today's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency is selecting teams to develop neural interface. And it goes on to talk about mind control.
Yes.
Hello, Skynet.
Yes. Giant fighting robots. I am fucking ready.
Gundam.
I'm so fucking ready.
Gundam Wing.
I'm so fucking ready.
Yeah. We don't think about N3 technology as simply a new way of flying a plane or to talk to a computer, but as a tool for actual human-machine teaming. Now, this freaks me out because it goes right along with that whole Joe Rogan belief that he's been spouting in the last few months.
What's he been spouting?
That in the next 10 years, we won't be able to have secrets. We'll all just be able to read each other's minds.
I don't like that either.
Nah, man. Nah.
Listen, I'm a sane human being as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
But here's the thing.
God damn anyone else that says otherwise.
Sometimes I have everybody has dark thoughts.
Yeah.
Everybody, I don't want people knowing that shit. It just happens sometimes. I don't act on them. I don't act on those impulses.
Just imagine you go to the mall or somewhere public and you get out of the car and they're like, get on the ground, do it now.
I have a feeling that if that were to happen, suddenly everybody could know what everyone else was thinking, there would be a rash of suicides.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even joking. Simply because the nihilism would overflow.
Oh yeah.
Because you imagine just going to the grocery store, you're standing in line and all of a sudden you get this rush of hate all around you because you got this old woman in front of you with like 30 coupons for the fucking basket full of groceries that she got, this giant basket of groceries, and she's arguing with the cashier because one of the coupons is expired, but she said no, it's not expired, and and you're sitting there like, oh fuck, I got through the line, and then that old lady dies of a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's basically like using the Force.
You got to think of all the mass suicides that would happen too. People that have been up to fuck shit for the last 2 decades that have gotten away with it.
That's like some next level. Like, if you ever read any of Philip K. Dick's stuff, that's what he kind of dives into, is those levels of paranoia that we would have to like. I can't do that. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the pleb that just doesn't conform.
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna create a Magneto helmet so nobody can read my mind.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit in my Faraday cage so no one could hear my deep, dark thoughts.
Right. There you go.
Like, that's some thought crime fucking Winston Smith, 1984.
Yeah.
Fucking Aldous Huxley, Philip K. Dick, fucking... Let me just mention every other fucking sci-fi writer that's ever warned about anything remotely close to that.
30 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But we're, full steam ahead.
Now, giant fighting robots I'm cool with.
Gundam.
I'm great with that.
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I'd be cool with power armor.
Like, that's how they're going to get you, though.
I was thinking like Fallout style.
Oh, that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring back the slightly racist 40s music that I could listen to with my Pit Boy.
What's that? The ink drops, right?
Ink spots.
Ink spots, whatever.
Yeah. I was thinking the one where they're talking about living in the jungle, the hunga bunga bunga.
Oh, yeah. Nothing really helps me kill meth heads with a melee weapon better than that kind of music. Meth heads. What are they called in Fallout?
Raiders.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing, right?
Right.
Pretty much.
Raiders.
Future meth.
Yeah. Psycho and Jet,
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you prefer Skyrim, Skooma.
Or what's the other? Moon sugar?
Yeah. Well, you get... I think you make skooma with moon sugar.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming it's moon sugar because it's white.
You gotta think of...
Yes, it is.
You gotta think of, like, moon sugar is like
sugar.
opium. Straight up.
Yeah.
And then skooma is heroin.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it anyway.
They smoke the skooma, don't they? Or they drink it?
I can't remember.
There's something that they drink, too, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's all I got for the news, though. We can go on to the story of the day.
Say, do we want to do our Patreon stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
You mean patreon.com/bones and tubs, where if you like the show, you can go and donate as little as $1 a month and get some rewards?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
Man. Well, I mean, that's all you got to do. You just go to patreon.com/bones and tubs.
Join the nation.
Join it.
Yeah.
Get some bumper stickers.
Get that cool shit.
Get on the rewards. There's a shitload. I think I sold our soul for sorry.
No, as I say, thanks to all you out there for getting us over 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, well, it's back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
we were at 10-12, and I thought I'm gonna make 1,000 person post, and then a bunch of people jump ship. So we're at 997.
We're close enough. We breached 1,000, and then it came back down for some reason. We're too spicy for some people, apparently.
Sometimes you shove it in there, she's like, "Oh, it hurts," so you gotta slow down.
Or they were
pull back a bit.
They were robots.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. I don't.
But yeah, so thank you all for you Patreon contributors out there.
Yeah.
And if you're not a part of the nation yet, you might want to get over there and try that out.
I don't even remember what the highest reward tier is, but I'm pretty sure if they go to the highest reward tier, they get our souls.
Yeah. Free souls.
Yeah.
Not free souls, but their souls.
Premium.
At a discount. So, I think that about does it for now, until the end of the show, when we kind of do a little bit of a recap of all those sweet, sweet things.
Now, the best way I figured we could jump into this is just to go about the Bohemian Grove by asking a question. What is Bohemian Grove?
What is Bohemian Grove?
And I think we should go to our lifelong friend and eminent philosopher, Richard Nixon.
Let's look at Northern California. You understand? Yeah. You know what's happened in San Francisco just gone. It's clear over. I know that, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend one time at a time. The Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd. Because it's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Now, I got to say this as a man that has, like one or two homosexual friends,
yeah,
then I'm offended.
Were you triggered?
No. Wasn't triggered, but I am offended. His words are not what's the long spiel that people normally give when they don't want to be implicated.
They're not your words?
These views are expressed by Richard Nixon are not views of the Bones and Toast podcast.
We're just letting you know how one person felt about the things that go on at Bohemian Grove.
A person who attends there from time to time.
Yeah. And he, on the records had a lot of positive things to say about it.
Yeah.
But apparently off the record did not.
Wasn't really off the record, though, was it?
Well, it was an interview given that he was not released until he died.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was on his secret recordings.
It was an interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I forget the guy's name, but he had an interview. He actually wrote up the positive gleaming things. The only thing in the interview that he mentioned along those lines was orgies. Yeah. Orgies made it into the interview. But that whole audio, they waited. He kicked off. And they're like, he's dead? Okay, go ahead. Yeah. And they put the tape out.
So the Bohemian Grove, what is it? It's a club out in California amongst the redwood trees.
Established in 1872, the Bohemian Grove is just shy of 3,000 acres, 2,700. Mm-hmm. It's restricted campgrounds located in the secluded groves of Monte Rio, California, 60 miles north of San Francisco. Owned and operated by a San Francisco-based Bohemian Club.
Okay.
So that's the basic framework. Inside it, there are multiple clubs. I don't know if anybody got notes on that. I did not.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of different grounds or whatever in there, right?
The Bush family, the Bush clan, has one called the Hillbillies.
I didn't know they had like individual ones for different people or whatever.
After you spend 40 years in the club, you get like...
Old guard status.
You get old guard status, yeah.
I'm not sure if that has to do with the individual campground or if that's like just a money thing.
That means you don't do the sucking anymore.
Unless you want to.
Yeah.
You're not forced to.
We're looking at you, Dick Cheney.
Yeah. I don't even know where to begin with this right now because...
I mean, it's a collective.
Franklin scandal? I mean...
you go there. Okay, so basically the Bohemian Grove is this... this is the outward facade I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about the real shit, but as it wants to portray itself to the public, it's a club of artists, entertainers, politicians, CEOs,
Colombian drug lords. No.
Sorry. Yeah. Basically, a lot of rich people, more or less.
Yeah,
and they get together every year for 2 weeks, and they put on these. Like they claim it's just like basically summer camp for rich people. Mm-hmm. That's what they claim, is that it's just like they do these little plays and they drink a lot and they just chill. Apparently, that's what I got for this, and enjoy nature.
Did you know that women are not allowed in the club except for working in the kitchen?
Yeah, I knew that.
They're not allowed.
They have to be off the premises at night.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
It's weird.
It's like a male thing or something.
Perhaps
there's a lot of
outward facade. They want you to believe it's like the Little Rascals. It's like the real world adult version of like the club in Little Rascals, like the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Haters Club. Yeah.
Like all they want to do is just be boys,
do boy stuff.
They want to crack some cold ones with the boys. Like that. That's what I kind of get from like, hey, and we have this cool motto, weaving spiders come not here. So. Their logic is and basically to break that down, it's saying they're not allowed to conduct business at the club, at the Grove. Yeah. Apparently, that's
right.
Allegedly.
It's weird.
Except the one time they did conduct business was to create possibly the most catastrophic weapon ever conceived by men, and that be the nuclear bomb. And they got together at the Grove to talk about the Manhattan Project.
Yes, they did.
They also
Oppenheimer was there too, I believe.
Yes, he was.
They also did Star Wars there. Star Wars was decided to become public inside the Grove. But that's so weaving spiders come out here. That must mean something else then. If it doesn't mean no business.
Yeah.
Because, clearly they were doing business in there.
Yeah.
Boys. Just some boys doing the business.
Boys doing the business.
Getting the business done.
So, what else would they be for? If not for...
I don't know. I saw a thing about an owl. A giant owl.
There's like a giant concrete owl. At the Grove.
What's that for, guys?
Well,
no more.
Everyone's favorite CIA asset, Alex Jones, was the only person, because we've had like multiple times, was it The Verge? there was another. I can't remember.
There was another newspaper.
There was Spy.
Yeah,
Spy magazine.
Well, there was 2 or 3 that have tried to make it in, and they got arrested and charged with trespassing. But Alex Jones, the CIA favored puppet, he was the only one to ever make it in there and come out with footage. If you go to YouTube and type in Alex Jones Bohemian Grove, you can see the whole. I guess he made a documentary on it, and they've got video of the cremation of care. And I mean, if you have a picture in your mind of a boys' club for boys, Christian conservative boys, you know, with the traditional American values, you wouldn't imagine robes, hoods, cloaked in the dark.
You know, for supposedly being just like a week, like a 2-week getaway where people just chill, it seems awfully well organized. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
with the costumes and the
gaiety
and the ceremonies.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at this ceremony, and the thing is, like, nobody really knew about this ceremony until the greatest CIA asset, Alex Jones, revealed it.
Yeah.
And Bohemian Grove had to come out and say, well, yes, the footage is real, but
it was a play.
It's a play.
It's
guys, just a little play we're
just letting off steam.
Yeah. Like, they said all the conclusions that Alex Jones drew, CIA asset Alex Jones drew from his footage is false. It's just a simple little play that we do at the beginning of the camp to, like, kind of unwind and relax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A play where they all get dressed up in costumes and they have a high priest come in. Yeah. In front of this giant statue of an owl.
Yeah. That was depicted as the god Moloch in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Where people would sacrifice children. Babies to
and then they
crops.
They emulate.
Immolate?
They have an immolation of quote unquote care that looks like a baby.
Yeah.
Immolation is in on fire?
Yes. Did I mispronounce it?
I don't know. I was just making sure that's what you're saying.
Yeah, immolation.
Okay,
right.
cool.
Yeah. So they bring this thing, Care, out like a baby in front of this giant stone statue of a owl, which is what the Hebrews talked about when they were talking about the Babylonians burning children to the god Moloch.
Tasty.
And they torch this thing. Now, but before they do, all these priests come out in robes with torches, right? And then right before they're about to burn this effigy, Care shows up. And it, you know, like, and here's the thing, like, so these boys, the roles change every year. So certain people play certain roles for this ceremony, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
sounds like various lodge systems.
So like, Care will show up, and all the torches go extinguished, and he's like, "You can't destroy me. I am Care. Like, I'll always be here." And they're like, "No, fuck you. We're gonna kill you now." But we know you're going to come back, but we're killing you so that we can relax during our trip, right? And then the high priest in this play beseeches Moloch to help them in burning Care, right? And I can't make this shit up.
No, I
can't make it up. So then, like,
and you can look it up for yourself too, so you don't have to just think like these guys are crazy boys.
So then, like,
you could find it.
So then, usually someone will do the voice of Moloch, and I saw that at one point, one of the more famous people to play Moloch, like the voice of Moloch, was Walter Cronkite.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
the voice of America.
Awesome.
Oh my God,
man!
So. And Moloch comes before them and says, basically, your petty torches couldn't burn Care because they were the fire of men or whatever. The only flame that can burn Care is the lantern of fellowship. Which, mind you, at this point, when all the torches have gone out, it's completely black, right?
Yeah.
Except for like a spotlight that shows up at the person playing Care, and then the high priest like, "How shall we do it, Moloch?" Blah blah blah. So, the only other fire that's lit at that point is the lantern. It's the only other light. And, you know, like, the priest is like, "Oh, I'm so stupid. Because, like, I should have known that the only fire that can destroy Care is the lantern of fellowship." So then he takes a torch and relights his torch with the lantern of fellowship. And then he burns the fucking effigy of Care.
Fuck you.
You know, and the one off in the distance, the one that's like, "You can't destroy me," is like, "Ah!" I can't even make this up. It's all fucking true.
So, I wrote some stuff down, and this is what I wanted to we can bring it out and put it on the table.
Yeah.
And talk about it. The occult meaning behind the cremation of Care.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we've talked about care on the show before.
Right. But just the act of the ritual itself.
Okay.
What its purpose is. Now, the owl has many symbols, right? Owl of Moloch, like we talked about. The god of sacrifice, for the babies. For, guaranteeing a plentiful crop. It's also the Owl of Minerva, which Adam Weishaupt, founder of the Illuminati, made as his personal sigil. Now, the reason why they use an owl, one of the reasons, is because of its symbology of like the nighttime predator, right? It can fly from above. It can see in the dark, where its prey cannot see in the dark. And that's kind of like an overlay for society. These people are rich. Their prey is, the poor, the plebs. And their practice and their fucking lifestyle emulates the owl, right?
So this owl bashing I have a problem with because I love owls.
it's I mean, that's the only thing the Dark Occult can do. They take symbols and they co-opt and molest them, right?
Yeah.
But that's what an owl is. It's a predator, a nighttime bird, right?
It's also a symbol of wisdom.
Right. But I'm saying why the Dark Occult use it.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not saying that.
I don't use it for dark purposes, though. No. I emulate it for the purpose of, because, if you ever seen a Pallas Athena, you know what I mean? Her owl. The owl of wisdom, of guidance. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, it means different things to anybody else. It's not like...
Well, it's a symbol, so symbols can mean different things to different people.
It's like when, the Nazis repurposed the swastika.
Yeah.
So meaning peace.
Peace and love, it means...
Well, they inverted it, so
they changed
the opposite.
That's all dark can do. It can't create anything. It can only take and subvert.
Yeah.
So the act of... cremation of care itself on the surface is to just say that we're going to burn our care.
Yeah.
We're going to let all of our cares go so we can enjoy ourselves and have some boa revelry in the woods. The deeper meaning that I've found, it's an attack on the sacred feminine. It's showing that in order to do their, quote-unquote, the Dark Occult, their great work, what you have to do, you have to kill, because we all have, which law is it with the Kabbalion? The gender?
Yeah. And you could take it to the Joachim and Boaz thing.
Right.
Severity and mercy, right? So you need both in order to have the generative principle.
Right.
Right. Care.
Their idea is to show that they are psychically severing themselves from their inner child or their sacred feminine in order to go about their great work. Just like every other dark occult thing, they use They use knowledge, they use wisdom, but they don't, just like you said, burning the pillar.
Yeah, well, yeah, they don't. They only rely on the one pillar.
Right.
Strength. So they're bastardized version of what it's supposed to be, which is using both pillars to gain wisdom.
Right. There's also been rumors of actual sacrifice at various camps.
Could it kind of be an almost a quasi? At least philosophically, like the Faustian pentagram.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, so we don't need both pillars. We only need one because we rely on something else.
Because we've allowed the daemon in.
We've allowed Moloch.
Yeah.
Moloch will protect us so we don't have to have both pillars.
Right.
That's what I'm kind of getting from it.
Right. And they also touched upon another law, natural law within the Kabbalion, which is as above, so below. Now, if you've seen the picture, as I'm sure you have in the video of Cremation of Care, they have that. The CIA asset, Alex Jones, he took the video from the crowd, which is like in an amphitheater. It sits up, and he's looking down. Well, all these other Christian conservative politicians and political folk, the top of the top with financial sectors, are all dressed in hooded robes. He asserts that they're masturbating while this is going on. And you can hear it. So, but anyway, you look forward towards Moloch, right? And you've got death, or the person that symbolizes death, taking the child effigy across the lake.
Yeah.
Right? Well, with the fire, the way that it's structured in that CIA asset Alex Jones video, it touches on as above, so below.
Yeah.
Because you can see the reflecting pool.
Yeah.
It's like the Washington Monument. Right? So, this whole act... For them to say that it's just blown off steam is utter bullshit because I'm fucking mildly retarded. Yeah. And I found 2 natural laws that they're trying to fuck with or use in this ritual. I can't look at it any other way. And
that's just the one ceremony.
Right.
Mind you, they have shit that they do.
We don't know what all they're doing.
All week. So these are the things we know. So there's one thing. You said there's the June jinx, right?
June, or no, it's Spring Jinx.
Spring Jinx. So during the actual 2 weeks, they have different plays that they have called hijinks.
Yeah.
Which are usually they're like highbrow, like very supposedly deeply philosophical plays about like the nature of humanity. And here's the thing: it's actually they all rely on it's the futility is what they're getting at. It's like the futility of man.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's what the plays mostly are about. And then they have other plays that are called low jinks.
Yeah.
And low jinks
bet.
are like these body, like kind of like sexually charged plays. And mind you, this is all men's club. So women's parts and men's parts are both played by men.
Women stay in the kitchen.
That's right.
At Bohemian Club.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They don't act in the plays. They stay in the kitchen.
So, and the plays are super body and hypersexual and that's the idea. You have highbrow, lowbrow.
Yeah.
Like stuff that appeals to the lowest common denominator. And the low jinks plays are usually the hijinks plays are usually like pre-existing plays that they've been just done all the time. It's just tradition. It's historical to do these plays. The low jinks are written new every year. And since they include artists and stuff like that, it's these artists and stuff and these musicians who are writing these low jinks for people to enjoy. And like I said, they're like usually sexual and like, okay, so you ever watched a movie and like, say like, for example, any movie that has like ancient Rome in it or something.
Yeah.
And like, they're like walking down the street and somebody's performing this body play where like there's dicks everywhere and like fucking women, like women pulling their shirts down with their titties and all that stuff. Like that's the low jinks plays.
Except it's dudes.
Dudes. So fake titties. And giant, oversized dicks.
They've got one of the club workers. If you go on YouTube, I'm not sure if it's still there. This has been a long time since I've seen it, but one of the guys took a cell phone video inside of Moloch and like showed you the inner workings of the stone owl effigy. And he also recorded one of those gaudy low jinks plays where they were chastising one of their members, and I forget the motherfucker's name, but he was like he's a household name.
Yeah.
Christian conservative. And they were like making fun of him, and everybody's laughing and giggling. And the reason why they're making fun of him is because he loves women. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Darn those Christians.
I know. Like
you fucking breeder, and then he like puts a cock back in his mouth. Like
yeah. They're all dressed in those gaudy like super drag outfits.
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, we all know that he trances around with women. And bah!
He has the sex with them.
The whole crowd's like, bah! Insert the SpongeBob laugh.
Yeah.
You know?
So, besides those things, though, you got to remember that this is like super rich people. And they placate to every want and need of these individuals who are there.
Yeah.
So, like, beyond just the rituals.
Beyond the druidic rituals.
Yeah, beyond the druidic rituals and the high plays about, like, the disdain for plebs and whatnot. And then the low ones that revel in plebbery.
Yeah.
If that's even a word.
It is now. I believe it is, though.
Plebbery?
Why not?
I say it is.
It's a fucking word.
I'm Lewis Carroll today. I'll make up words.
Yeah.
There you go.
If I don't have a word, I will make it.
Well, it's important to make words to describe certain things that are out of the wheelhouse. Yeah. Like, I mean, we're talking about Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, George H.W., George W., Alan Greenspan, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Robert Novak, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
I mean,
just to name a few.
We need to make a word to describe it. Plebbery.
Well, plebbery is
would be the common folk.
It's like revelry and the common things that normally they wouldn't do. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like they couldn't be seen in public doing these things.
Right.
But so it's like their getaway. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna act like a fucking white trash piece of garbage. I don't even care. They're like drinking PBR and pissing on trees and shit. Like
don't get the beer too cold, it'll freeze.
Yeah, fucking George W. in the corner, fucking shotgunning beers with fucking his dad and shit. Like, man, I love this. Now give me another dick. But nah. So they also have these discussions, like these rich people TED Talks, where they talk about like certain aspects. And mind you, this kind of, I feel when I was reading this, goes against their whole weaving spiders do not come here thing, because they have these talks where like you have like scientists and politicians talking about future plans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And trying to get all these other rich people on board with their idea, right? Like when Richard Nixon was thinking about running for president for the second time, he knew that he had to go to Bohemian Grove and give like this rousing speech about like his policies and stuff like that to get everybody like up on his side, like basically to get him elected. He wasn't talking to people. He knew giving speeches to people, that was just a dog and pony show. The real show was at Bohemian Grove when he was giving his speech about why he should be president.
So have all presidents been in Bohemian Grove, do you think? No. Okay.
I don't believe all.
Apparently when Bill Clinton was asked about it, he said
he was there though.
He made sure to make a joke about it being all Republicans.
Right.
Because he was like, oh, is that place where all those Republicans go and drink beer and piss on trees and stuff? Like he was just being cheeky. Right. But he knew, I mean,
he knew it.
He doesn't have to like go to Bohemian Grove to fuck men. He can do that wherever he wants. He's got the Clinton Foundation to like keep a constant funnel of young children at his beck and call. So like, why does he have to worry about going Republicans? That's awful like pedantic to be like just doing it two weeks out of the year.
Bill Clinton,
he's like, oh, why don't I do it 2 weeks out of the year? Why don't I do it all year out?
Bill Clinton was a master at wordcraft. I mean,
he is.
Just to watch him talk, you can tell he's casting spells for a specific purpose. And I mean, any of his interviews, you can see that. Like the whole thing was, I'm not going to answer whether I've been there or not. Let me just put this back into the right-left paradigm.
Yeah.
David Gergen, did you watch that interview?
No.
We're going to play it right now.
In the fall of 2004, while in New York to cover the Republican National Convention, we ran into David Gergen, the Karl Rove of 4 presidential administrations.
Okay, one last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you, oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, hey, I don't run around in the woods naked. What did that mean?
Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article where he said, I didn't run around naked like they do.
I don't know what quote you're referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you.
Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care?
Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about.
Really?
That's right.
Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video. It's been on national TV.
Well, I disrespect you for that.
You do?
I do.
But it's a lot of big public officials going in there. Don't we deserve to know?
I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials
I'm sorry, you took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film. And did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them up after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just walked in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual gentlemanly?
Sir, everything. I don't owe you this comment.
I know. I appreciate
it. This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you and goodbye.
Been in the ritual?
It's none of your damn business.
Oh,
that's right. Listen. You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets, and that's inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest of us to say, "Oh, well, you're
there, Mr. Gergen."
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously, you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders come out here. Yeah, that is a 3-pointer. Woo!
Look how strangely he behaved when we brought it up. Why is he acting so secretive? And why did he get so angry when he discovered that we'd snuck in? You see, they take it very, very seriously. This is one of the hallmarks of the occult and secret societies. The word occult means secret. Secrecy is part of their religion. They revel in it. And when it's violated, they become extremely angry.
So yeah, that clip was pretty good.
Powerful, Alex Jones.
Yeah, CIA asset Alex Jones.
That's fine. I've already said before, I believe he's a CIA asset, but I've still got love for the man. He's the one that woke me up, made me the bones that I am today.
So,
without the CIA paycheck.
David Gergen seemed pretty upset.
Yeah, pretty fucking upset.
And nervous
for those of
about
you
the whole thing
that were like me and didn't know, David Gergen was a political commentator and former presidential advisor who served during Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton administrations.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's been all over the place.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think you could see, if you watch that video, now I just pulled the audio from it and put it in here, but look it up, and you can see his body language. Now, he is guilty.
Yeah.
And he knows, and you could see, like, the aggression.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can, and that's another thing too. His face, his eyes, right?
Yeah.
You've seen those memes where they talk about like the Rothschilds, and they've got like all those different people, and they've all got that same fucked up look.
Yeah.
You know, like you can tell someone by how evil they are by looking at their eyes. He's got those eyes.
Yeah.
He's done some shit.
Yeah.
And if you go through the Franklin scandal stuff, which I didn't, but they've got you know children's testimony about being forced to give oral sex to George H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, just one more thing and I'll shut the fuck up. We can go to group discourse. If Antifa was going to go anywhere and start stabbing people, I think I know where they should probably go. Now, I would never advocate violence, right? But fighting conservative left-right paradigm people on the street or going to the woods and doing what you got to do to the political power elite.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that they're not there.
So, let's get to I'd like to get to an open discussion about this Bohemian Grove. I think we've given enough info on the gist. But one question still plagues me. So, and this is, I assume the answer between the three of us. I never like assuming, but I feel like we need to get the commentary on it. Bohemian Grove, just a relaxing vacation for the elites to unwind and enjoy themselves?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Dark occult, fucking nasty child sexing fucking assholes.
I'm going to go with the latter.
Okay. What about you, Aaron?
I'll go with the latter also.
Okay, yeah.
Sex.
I mean, I want one of these days I'm going to get somebody on the show that wouldn't think like we think.
We need to find
somebody that disagrees with you. Nah, it's totally.
I tell you, if we got the person who does our music on the show, I bet you we can get a discussion out of him about this because we've had discussions with him in the past concerning pedophiles and stuff like that, and there's the surge in them and how they basically run, trafficking children.
Do you not believe that? Or?
No, he thinks it's all a farce.
Adamantly against it.
Yeah.
Oh, I did find this very interesting. They do have a patron saint of the Grove.
Okay.
His name is it's John of. I'm probably gonna screw up saying this.
John of boyfuckery.
True.
It's a strange word.
Nepomuk. Is saying that right?
Nepomuk. I'll say Nepomuk.
Nepomuk, something like that. So his legend goes with it. He says they suffered the death at the hands of the Bohemian monarch rather than disclose the confessionals of the queen. So the effigy that they have is him holding his index finger over his lips.
To impose silence.
Right. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
And it goes along with everything we've talked about. I mean,
yeah.
Again, we're not the podcast that goes deep in the research, but we will give you all the points we think you need like a fucking cactus to find that information for yourself. Clearly there's some shit going on there. I mean, I saved 2 pictures. I'm trying to decide if they're going to be in the cover of the episode or not. But one was a Washington Times article, and the date is Thursday, June 29th, 1989, right?
Yeah.
Would you care to read the title for everybody?
Homosexual Prostitution Inquiry and Standards VIPs with Reagan Bush. Call Boys Took Midnight Tour of White House.
Yeah, so they're talking about this prostitution ring that are employed with the upper echelons, the elite, right? And they're talking about in the article how they're given late night tours in the White House. Well, if you continue to read the article, it talks about the Bohemian Grove. Mm-hmm. And here we are, like, talking about the sex trading. There was another lady who was the madam that, quote unquote, killed herself a few years ago. She was the madam, the DC madam.
Okay, yeah.
Now, she was talking about these politicians, like, they came at her with the law, right? We're going to charge you for being a madam because we don't like that. And she's like, that's fine, go ahead, because I keep a roster of everybody that I'm employed by. Mm-hmm. And it's everybody in the White House and the Senate and the Congress. And they want children. They want men, women. That's fine. Take it to court. And then she came out and gave an interview on the CIA Asset Alex Jones podcast and said, I'm never going to kill myself. I should just say that now. And then she killed herself. She hung herself in her shed at her mom's house.
Was it by a doorknob? Tell me it was by a doorknob.
It was in a shed. There could have been a doorknob in there.
I wish we knew that. Because, like, I don't know if you heard that on the show before. Or I talked about it before. How there's a thing where I read this article where they talked about how a lot of these celebrities and people, they have the same MO when it comes to how they kill themselves. They hang themselves by a doorknob.
Sounds
with usually a belt or a scarf or something. Never a rope.
You'd have to really want that to
but
hang
like,
yourself by a doorknob.
Basically, here's the thing. Yeah. Name any celebrity that's killed themselves in the last 3 years, and I guarantee they killed themselves via doorknob.
That's crazy, too. I didn't start paying attention to it until Robin Williams, right? Now, they all try to put it off like he's depressed, but that he killed himself in some way that's like autoerotic asphyxiation. But really, it's like you said, it's a calling card for an assassin.
It's the wink wink. It's to so like they say, oh, they killed themselves. And then you find out how they did it. Anybody in the elite circles knows. They know right then, okay, they did it because whoever this was either in the know or just found out and wasn't cool with it and was going to fucking spill the beans. Mm-hmm. So we killed them. And that's their calling card is they kill them by making it look like they killed themselves via a doorknob. Like, we're talking all sorts. We're talking Anthony Bourdain. We're talking about that fashion designer that just killed herself. Robin Williams. All these people hung themselves by a doorknob. Huh. Okay. And anybody out there confused, like, that seems a little weird. One, that they all did it the same way. But secondly, I imagine how hard it is to kill yourself via doorknob.
Yeah, because you have to do things like not stand up.
Yeah, you can totally opt out of that.
It's not like you got on a chair. You know what I mean? Kick the chair out and just hung there. At that point, the choice to stop is too late. Mm-hmm. But you literally just have to move up.
Yeah, move up. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Must be a really tall doorknob.
I mean,
well, we're talking off of like closet doors and shit. Like, these people did it by, it's sketchy at best. But I think we just went off topic there.
That's fine.
The Bohemian Grove, everybody out there. This is not a good thing.
No, it's not.
By anybody's means.
It doesn't even have to be Antifa that charges those woods. You know, it could be a group of fucking 3%ers.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if they went in there and cleaned house? Yeah. Right?
But here's the thing. They probably have some security measures that we don't even know about. Oh, whether it be from technology or dark magic. Who knows? Like, imagine if we tried to charge in the woods and all of a sudden, like, this, like, fucking snake thing, this metal snake thing comes up out of the ground and just blasts like a heat ray everywhere and just kills everybody.
What was the thing from Harry Potter?
What do you mean? Like,
there was a snake in one of them, right?
Like a basilisk?
The basilisk, yeah.
Yeah. It could be the basilisk. I was thinking more like the heat ray from War of the Worlds on the tripods that fucking just turns people into ash.
Yeah.
But
now, let me see. I got 2 pictures I wanted to mention too. Now, the way I structured these schizophrenic notes was specifically for Travis Earnshaw, because when Wallace told me about him and like talking about how I was like, man, I love that podcast, man. Like, they make me look up so much stuff, look into things. I started writing notes that way because I like to think that most of the people that listen to this podcast are that way. So I found Frost Bank, right? Mm-hmm. Let me pull it up. That's in Texas. Now, we talked about the symbolism behind the owl, right? And at least the dark occult symbolism. So, the owl, as I said, with the dark symbolism of being a predator that seeks prey that can't see in the dark where they can see in the dark. Right?
Yeah.
Now, the Frost Bank in Texas, look how they made their building.
It's interesting.
Right. I would also ask everybody, did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would also ask everybody to look, to pause the podcast right now. Pull out of your pocket or find a $1 bill, right? And go to view the top right-hand corner of the dollar bill. Now, when you see the 1 on the top right, there's like a crest around it.
Toe Beans is home.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up, motherfucker?
I am the other person. Oh. I guess. I don't know.
I thought Aaron wasn't real for a second because she's like looking at us like, why are
like
you two? Why is it just you two in here?
Hey, what's this microphone doing?
You remember what we talked about last week?
Oh yeah, what about it?
Think about it.
I already asked
Huh?
him if you were doing that.
I said I didn't know.
Oh, I'm down for whatever. It's only 10 minutes.
All right, anyway, I'm going. Bye.
So if you pull out a dollar bill and you look at the top right corner around the 1, right? Have you guys seen this?
Yeah. There's a.
I don't.
Yeah.
If you show me, I probably will remember.
I got a 20.
I don't have $1.
Pull it up on Google. Let's see. You have not just an owl in the top right-hand corner. If you use your eyes and you zoom in there, right? Mm-hmm. The crest in the top right, and then there's a half moon on the top left and right of the crest. You go to the top left crescent moon.
Yeah.
There's a fucking owl in there.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just a regular owl. It's the owl of the Bohemian Club. The way that it is drawn and structured.
Oh, hey, Al. How you doing, buddy?
What you doing?
What are you doing over there? Hiding?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Praying. He's preying upon something.
So we've got in the structure of the Frost Bank in Texas. We've got it on our fucking money. And then, what was the other building? Commerce Square. And that's in Philadelphia. Let's pull a picture.
They're just tricksy little boys, that's all.
They are tricksy.
That their little fun time in their 2 weeks in July bleeds over into regular life a little bit.
I think they just like to play with their penises too much.
Yeah. They're stuck in that phase, that genital phase of Freudian psychology.
Now
that's what it is.
This picture is not going to be as good because I couldn't find one right now of it illuminated at night. But when it's illuminated, it's fucked. But they've got 2 twin buildings, and they're structured like horned owls. And when they light them at night, it looks just like 2 horned owls.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah.
So owls. We've got 3 separate examples right here. Deep in our financial system.
Yeah.
Having to do with owls. Bohemian Club members. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Throwing it out there for the Bones and Tubs Nation for consideration.
And with that, I think it's about time to wrap up.
Wrap it all the way up.
I hope you enjoyed all of our talk about Bohemian Grove. I hope it piqued your interest.
Hopefully it did.
In doing the good work yourself. I'd like to thank Aaron Red for coming on the show again. We always like to have that commentary.
Yeah, I was coming to fix my computer so I can edit the podcast.
There you go. We'd like to thank our Patreon contributors. If you're not one yet, you need to join the nation.
Totally
Get on there.
Get in.
Go on the Patreon, Bones and Tubs.
We don't have a wall. I mean, you can come in our nation. It just takes as low as $1.
Yeah. We don't believe in walls.
Nah.
Anyways.
Okay. Trump's America is totally looking for army people at the gas station. Just a thing. There's an army outpost at the gas station right now.
What?
They're recruiting for the army.
I should go there.
At the gas station.
Cat shirt and all. Is it for the Space Force or like the actual, like the lame ass ground army?
It's just the army.
I'm trying to play Halo.
There's 2 people standing around on their phones like, nobody's gonna show up.
Which gas station is this?
Speedway.
Oh, of course.
Of course it's Speedway. That's like the preeminent gas station of Eaton, Ohio.
Yeah.
But go check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook.
Yeah.
Check out our website, www.bonesandtubs.com. Fuck that up. www.bonesandtubs.com. Check them out. Give us a review.
Share us with your friends.
Yeah.
Let them know.
And then they tell their friends.
Yeah.
And then their friends. And their friends.
Exponential.
Not the Bohemian Grove kind of sharing, though.
No, not that kind.
No.
But once again, we'd like to thank y'all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show this week. And we hope you have a good week. And we'll see you next time.
We love you.
We really do.